Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. My name is Alan Aguirre, and today is a massive day in the MTV Challenge universe as it is departure day for the Challenge Season 38. We're not going to care about All-Stars today. We're not going to care about the CBS Challenge today because today is all about the Challenge Season 38. We don't have a name of the season yet. The speculated name and theme is Ride or Die, which will be male and female partners like going in as allies together competing. We don't know the full cast yet, but thanks to Vevmo.com, we know a majority of the people who will be on the cast, as well as some alternates. Keep track on Vevmo.com because there will be a bunch of names added, dropped. This is going to be a weird season because apparently there are people who are bringing family members, best friends, husbands, wives, relatives, kind of like in a Bloodline season. They're not all going to be Bloodlines partnerships, but it's going to be a weird season with a weird cast. But we're getting some big name returns, and I think we're going to have a pretty good season. I'm going to give you my immediate reactions to all the cast members, and we're going to go to Vevmo.com just to scroll down the cast list. On to Vevmo.com. Thank you to Pink Rose and the Spoiler team for collecting all this data so that we can get hyped about a new challenge season. Season 38 is set to be hosted by TJ Lavin once again, and is set in Argentina. Let's kick off with the females for this Ride or Die Season 38 cast. And we have Miss Amber Brazotra from Big Brother Season 16, the winner of the challenge Double Agents, career 3-1 elimination record. I mean, Amber's gorgeous. She really came into her own in her second season, ironically. Like, her first season, she was more under the radar, even though she was a challenge champion. There were a lot of episodes where she either got one or no confessionals, but last year she was a big point of drama. Her rivalry with the Big Brother Alliance. It'll be interesting to see how she molds into this game. Plus, it's good to have a female champion back on the show. Next up, we have a rookie, maybe debuting, Annalise Talavera from Big Brother Season 21. I believe might have been 22, 20. I'm not good with the numbers anymore. I believe it was 21. I watched her season. She was a little bit like boring on Big Brother. She didn't really understand the game aspect. Didn't seem like she was too into it. But I have to note, she was a collegiate soccer player, and I think you put this younger, more model-esque, like beautiful girl on the challenge, and I think she fits in a lot better. I mean, she's a gorgeous human being. She's a former collegiate soccer player. Like that in its own right should get her pretty decently far in the game. The only reason I put her as a maybe is because she was dropped from season 36. She was dropped from season 37, and she wasn't on the CBS challenge. So I don't know if she's going to be a full-time cast member. People are speculating that her partner might be Jay Starrett. People are speculating that her partner might be Tommy Bracco, who you'll see later in this list. I don't really know. I think she can be a big threat in this game on her own, but I don't know whether or not she'll do well with a partner. Next up, we have Anissa Ferreira from The Real World Chicago. This is going to be Anissa's 15th or 16th season. She's been to 2 finals. She went to a final on All-Stars 1 as well. There's really not much to say with Anissa. She's won a lot of eliminations in her day. She is an OG of this game and has a lot of respect from certain people, but at the same time, she's no real threat to win in the end, so it's hard to get excited over her. Next up, we have Eme Alupe from Survivor Romania and Challenge Spies, Lies, and Allies, where she came in 3rd place with Devin Walker. Eme won 4 eliminations her rookie season. Not many players in Challenge history have won 4 eliminations. In that final itself, she showed a lot of heart where she really never gave up at any point, and she was just pushing and pushing through. A bit emotional. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I can't deny that she's not a good physical player because she really is. Next up we got Kayla Casillas from The Real World Go Big or Go Home. She did 5 main seasons of the challenge, went to the final on Vendettas and was the 2nd place female that season. Has an impressive, I believe, 5-1, 4-1 elimination record. And as we're seeing with Challenge All-Star Season 3, she's really come into the season in good shape. She has a lot of political savvy, a lot of social savvy, and the drama just finds her, and she knows how to stir the pot a bit. I really like Kayla. She's one of my favorite cast members ever, and I'm glad we have her back in the Challenge universe, because right now, on All-Stars 3, she's throwing her fastball. Like, she's making sure that you care about her, and goddamn, I'm glad to see Kayla back. Next up, we got Casey Clark from Big Brother Season 20, the winner of that season. She was also the winner of Challenge Spies, Lies, and Allies, has made it to the final on 3 straight seasons, has the highest career daily challenge win ratio percentage of any player of all time. And that's with a legit sample size. Any player over 30 challenges, and Casey has close to 50 challenges at this point. She has never been eliminated. Great social game, great physical game. Her final performance was a little bit underwhelming last season, but even then, Casey is almost a guaranteed lock for a final any season she's on because there's no target on her and she just beasts all the competitions. So even if you don't like Casey, she's one of the best to ever compete on the show. Oh boy, one of the big returns is Laurel Stuckey from Fresh Meat 2. Laurel's been on 6 seasons, I believe. She is a 4-time finalist, 9-2 elimination record. Only person in challenge history to win 9 eliminations in a row. I mean, barely any people have ever won 9 eliminations, let alone 9 in a row. Put up some of the most dominant performances in challenge history, like on Fresh Meat 2. On Free Agent, she won 4 eliminations in a season and finally became a champion in that moment. I mean, Laurel's a beast. I mean, she's a legit 6 foot, but she knows how to use her body, and she's an actual athlete. I met her in person, and I'm a short guy. I'm 5'6", 5'7", but I met Nelson that same night, and I thought he was the same height as me. I met Laurel, and I felt like a tiny little baby. She is a real athlete, a real competitor, and like she doesn't even need to train, and she'll be one of the best. And if she does train, everyone should be scared. Ooh, I love this girl. It is Michelle Fitzgerald from Survivor, Koa Rong, and Survivor Winners at War. She won her first season of Survivor, came in 3rd place in the all-winners season, was on Spies, Lies, and Allies last season, won that opening elimination, was pretty good in the swimming challenge, and then came up short in elimination against Amber B and Huey. But Michelle, I mean, she's a good character. She has great confessionals. She's beautiful. There's everything about her is like a really good. Like she's good mentally, socially, and politically, and she's continuing to train physically because she's no slouch in that element either. I really like Michelle. I'm very glad to see her back on this season, and I wonder who her partner could be. I think it could be Emmanuel. I think it could be Jay Starrett. It could be someone out of left field as well. Next up, we got Nani Gonzalez from The Real World back to Las Vegas. This is going to be Nani's 12th season. She's made the final in her last 2 seasons, but it's been 3rd and 4th place finishes respectively. I'm a big fan of Nani, like historically, but I'm getting a little bit tired of her because she's just become really boring. There's no other way to say it, and Nani used to be the most interesting and fun cast member on the show, but now she's kind of a shell of herself. Not a shell of herself in like a bad way, but just she's becoming, as she becomes a healthier human, she becomes a worse reality TV character. And I'm rooting for her as a human, but me as a viewer, I want that old Nani back. And there are some speculations as to who could be her partner. It's a little bit interesting. Maybe Giant Bananas, might be someone out of left field. We don't know. Next up, we got Olivia Kaiser from Love Island USA. Genuinely, I don't know that much about her. I remember I was doing some research about her going into the Challenge CBS show, which she was speculated for, but then she didn't end up on the main cast. People think she might be an alternate. People don't really know. I mean, she's gorgeous. She is an interesting personality. I don't have much to say about her, I'm going to be honest, compared to everyone else, because those Love Island people, their shows don't really translate to a competitive element or in a way that I can project. I mean, because people can go on Love Island and be good on the challenge, but there's no way to know who is going to do well sometimes. Next up, we have Tori Deal from Are You the One Season 4, and all I have to say is, ooh, woohoo, Tori, yay. In all honesty, I'm just tired of Tori at this point. She's on every season, and the worst part about it is the fact that she comes on every season, she does the challenge podcast, and she just comes off so disingenuous, where I don't feel like I'm getting a real person. But I do have to say, Tori is a badass competitor. Last season, she was the 2nd place female on Spies, Lies, and Allies, and probably deserved to win the final at the end of the day, but because of the formatting, she didn't pull off the win. She also had an impressive season on War of the Worlds 2 and Dirty 30. She's a good competitor, but I'm tired of her, and I don't really need to see more of her. Let's get into the men. Kicking us off for the men is Chauncey Palmer. You probably don't know his name, but he's Amber Borzotra's boyfriend and likely partner for this season. He has over 100,000 Instagram followers, and the guy has a very impressive body. He works as a personal trainer and focuses big on body transformations, and the dude's body is immaculate. I don't really know what he brings socially, mentally, but the guy's body is pretty damn good. Next up, we have Devin Walker from the Challenge Spies, Lies, and Allies, Are You the One Season 3. He's done 6 seasons, a decent 5-2 elimination record. Devin has really honed in on the social aspects of the game, the political aspects, and has become a strong mental player when it comes to puzzles and communicating with his partners, which he does really well. He's not the best athlete. He's tried to become more fit over the years, but he just isn't the raw athlete that other players are, and he doesn't have the cardio really for the final. I mean, we saw him kind of die out at the end last season. He really needs to work on that aspect of the game if he ever wants to win. But I do think that throughout most of Spies, Lies, and Allies, Devin was the 2nd best male competitor. He is likely to be partners with Tori Deal on the season. He could potentially be partners with someone else too, but Tori Deal is what people expect him to be partnered with. I like Devin. I think he did get a bit grating at the end of last season, but I do still like Devin, what he brings to the show. Next up, we have Emmanuel Niagu from Survivor Romania. He was 5th place on Spies, Lies, and Allies. He was the rookie who went the longest in the game without ever seeing an elimination. He beat Logan San Pedro, then had to face Devin in a puzzle. It was a close battle, but he came up short. Emmanuel knows how to blend in socially. He is a good athlete. He is an acrobat, so he's really quick on his feet. He's really light on his feet, can carry his weight well. Even though he's like about 160 pounds, he can actually like lift and go toe-to-toe with the guys that are about 180. I just think there's something missing to Emmanuel, and he was a bit boring at points last season. He did have showmances with both Tori Deal and Michelle Fitzgerald, both of which could be his partners on this season, but I think most people expect him to be partnered with Emile Lupe. Next up, we have Fessy Shafat Faisal from Big Brother 20. He's been on 3 seasons. He made the final of his first 2 seasons. He is a big guy. He's 6'5", 235 pounds, and he's probably the fastest person on the show. That's what people don't talk about enough, is that Fessy is not only bigger than everyone, he's faster than everyone too. He's a great raw athlete, and even though he does lack heart at times, even though he can be a bit socially dumb, what it comes down to is nobody wants to face Fessy in a physical elimination. Like, we can clown him as much as you want. He gets to the final of most seasons based on physical pedigree. And not to mention, even though he can be an idiot, he can be a real idiot at times, the guy is book smart. He knows his math. He knows his puzzles. Not the dumbest guy on the planet. He's a really good player. And on almost any season, Fessy should be like a likely candidate to make the final. And maybe one day he'll get a win. I actually do think it could happen. But yeah, Fessy's pretty damn good. Next up, we have Jack Maddox, who was on X on the Peak. He is actually Laurel Stuckey's best friend. If you go through his Instagram, the guy is actually very into fitness. He's a certified personal trainer. Getting Laurel as a partner is a big boost for him. I mean, there's no better way to transition onto this show than having Laurel as your partner. I mean, that's like a best case scenario when it comes to partners. So I don't really know much about Jack, but he looks fit and he has a great partner, so I like his chances. Next up, we have James Simon, who is apparently Anissa's best friend. He works as a realtor. I really couldn't find much about him, but I mean, if Laurel's the best partner you could have on the show, I think Anissa is like maybe one of the worst because, I mean, she's no threat to really win, and she's not really good at mentoring people through the game as well. I don't like their chances. I don't really like this casting. I mean, I don't really need more Anissa on my screen, so I don't need her friend as well. I'm sorry if that's rude, but it's kind of a fact. It's not a fact, that's just my opinion. We have Jay Starrett from Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X. He was on Total Madness. He was on Double Agents. He pulled off one of the great elimination upsets ever when he took down CT one-on-one in Total Madness. Came back for Double Agents, won the mini final with Teresa, and then came up short to Leroy in a very strong, heated elimination where Leroy put up a dominant performance. Of course, we saw him lose on Total Madness. Jay is someone that people are probably going to be excited to see back on the show. I'm not really sure who's going to be his partner. It could be Michelle. It could be Annalise. There's some options there. Oh boy, Johnny Bananas, Real World Key West. And it's important to note, the last time Johnny Bananas was officially announced for a cast, or like initially I mean, was for Challenge All-Star Season 3. And then he dropped out. So he's on this cast list. He could drop out again. But Johnny Bananas might be making his comeback. He's a 7-time champion. The last time we saw him was on Total Madness, where he pulled off his 7th win. This will be his 21st season. I mean, love him or hate him, Johnny Bananas is one of the most important characters this show's ever had, and you're going to have an opinion about him, and you're going to tune in either to complain about him, to cheer for him, whatever. I'm probably going to make fun of him a lot personally, but he is one of the best to ever compete on the show, no doubt about that. Next up, we have Johnny Middlebrooks from Love Island, USA. And Johnny was actually, I believe, in the casting pool for Double Agents and then was dropped out. Maybe Spies, Lies, and Allies too. He is a former collegiate track and field athlete. His body is impeccable. I really like the addition of this cast member because I think he could be a real threat and a good addition to the show. People are going to assume that his partner is going to be Olivia because they're both from Love Island, but I don't really know if they're that close per se. It's going to be fun to see what he can do, though, because he's a legit athlete. Oh boy, everyone's favorite competitor, Josh Martinez, is back for his What is this? World of Worlds 1, World of Worlds 2, Total Madness, Double Agents, Spies, Lies, and Allies. And now, Season 38, Ride or Die. That is Josh Martinez's 6th challenge season, and it's about 8 too many. The guy is actually pretty close to being the best athlete he can be. He is really put in a ton of work in the gym, but at the end of the day, he's just not coordinated. He's not good with puzzles, so I don't really know how he'll ever be a threat in the final, even if he gets there. Of course, we know his elimination record is not great at 1-5. He'll get called out at a certain point because people will get to the real point of the game where they realize he's the layup. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to speak facts because I do think Josh has improved exponentially throughout his seasons. He's become a much better competitor, but at the same time, he's still no real threat to win. Next up, we have Kenneth Clark, who is Casey's brother. Similar to Jack, like there's no better person to come into the show with than Casey. She has all the social connections. She's a great competitor. And having that sibling chemistry of where you've been playing sports together your entire life, or you've been playing, games in the backyard, it's going to come naturally for the challenge as well. At the same time, he does look a bit undersized. He looks like he weighs the same amount as Casey. And when you're going against the bigger guys on the show, that can be a problem. Then again, as I go through this cast, there is a real lack of big heavyweight guys besides Fessy. If anything, it means Fessy probably has a pretty damn good shot at the final again. I don't really know how he'll do, but Casey's really athletic, so you gotta think his brother is like built from the same tree. Their dad follows me on Twitter. He's a very nice guy. Next up, we have Nam, short for Namlet, Nam Vo from Ultimate Beastmaster. He did Double Agents and Spies, Lies, and Allies, but he left Spies, Lies, and Allies immediately due to a positive COVID test. Double Agents, he left due to a back injury. He had to deal with the pain of being Lolo Jones' partner. Nam is a beautiful human being who's a great athlete. He's worked as an engineer. He's smart, but it hasn't translated yet to the challenge. Everyone thinks he's a nice guy. For good reason. He is a nice guy. I just want to see him actually get to compete and be himself. And I want him to either prove he deserves a casting spot or just to be a bit underwhelming and then just move away from the show. We either need to know whether Nam's a beast or whether he's just a popcorn muscle guy. He's not a popcorn muscle guy because he is good, but I don't know. It's tough to describe. I don't have bad feelings about Nam, but I want to have good feelings about him. That's what I'm saying. And now we have Nelson Thomas from Are You the One Season 3. What a photo we got of this guy. This is going to be Nelson's 8th or 9th season. He's up there for some of the most elimination wins by a male competitor all time, but he's lost a lot of eliminations as of recently. He made the final of Spies, Lies, and Allies after not really doing much. He currently has the record for 51 straight daily challenge losses in a row, which is statistically close to impossible. I did the math, and literally, I'm not even joking when I say I did the math. He had a 99.9% chance of winning at least one out of those 51 daily challenges. 99.9. What he keeps doing is more impossible and more impossible. And at this point, it's just interesting to see whether he can keep the streak going, if anything. After Nelson, we have Sam Bird from the Love Island UK. I believe one of the X on the Peaks too, and he is Kayla Casillas' husband. People complain about him being wallpaper, but the guy is in great shape. He's been Kayla's kind of personal trainer, and she's come on All-Stars 3 competing the best she ever has. So I think as a duo, they can be really strong together. Plus, when he's partnered with Kayla, she's going to be the bigger, more dramatic personality anyway, so he doesn't really need to bring that aspect to her. He just needs to be a physical beast who complements her. I think they're going to be making some damage on this season, so I'm excited to see Sam. Next up, we have Tommy Bracco from Big Brother Season 21. Tommy is a former Broadway singer. He's a little bit undersized. Honestly, I don't think Tommy has a really good shot on this show. I think he will mostly get targeted due to his size and will get probably rolled over. Seems like a sweet guy, though. He played a decent game on Big Brother. Next up, we have Wes Bergman, the ginger himself from the Real World Austin. 14-15 seasons of the show, two-time champion. He's currently on Challenge All-Star Season 3, wreaking havoc. Always excited to see Wes back on the main show. He took a one-season break from the main show. He's going to be playing the politics hard. Devin is probably a big part of the game too as well, so they'll be aligned. It'll be interesting to see whether or not him and Bananas will be on the same page as they were the last season they did together on Total Madness. I don't know. Wes is a top player, and looking at this cast, Wes has a really damn good shot at winning. You have to wonder who his partner's going to be. There are people speculating that it might be his wife, and there are people speculating that it might be Nani. I really don't know at this point, but I hope Wes gets a good partner because he's a real threat to win. And the show is always better when Wes is in the mix. So let's go through the cast again. We got Wes Bergman from The Real World Austin. Tommy Bracco, Big Brother Season 20. Sam Bird, Love Island UK, and Kayla Casillas' husband. Nelson Thomas, Are You the One, Season 3. Nam Vo from The Ultimate Beastmaster and Double Agents. Kenneth Clark, Casey Clark's brother. Josh Martinez from Big Brother 19. Johnny Middlebush from Love Island USA. Johnny Bananas, Real World Key West. Jay Starrett, Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X. James Simon from Being Best Friends with Anissa. Jack Maddox, ex On the Peak and Laurel Stuckey's best friend. Fessy Shafat, Big Brother 20. Emmanuel Niagu from Survivor Romania. Devin Walker from Are You the One Season 3. Chauncey Palmer from Being Amber Bersotra's boyfriend. Tori Deal from Are You the One Season 4. Olivia Kaiser from Love Island USA. Nani Gonzalez, Real World Back to Las Vegas. Michelle Fitzgerald, Survivor Koa Rong and Survivor Winners at War. Laurel Stuckey from Fresh Meat 2. Casey Clark from Big Brother. Kayla Casillas from Real World Go Big or Go Home. Emmy Alupe, Survivor Romania. Anissa Ferreira, Real World Chicago. Annalise Talavera from Big Brother 21. And Amber Bersotra from Big Brother 16. Season 38, set in Argentina. Thank you to Pink Rose and the Explorer team at Vevmo.com. Keep track on Vevmo if you want to see any updates to this cast list in case people are named alternates, whether they're dropped, whether people are added. There will probably be some people added because there are some relatives and some family members who we maybe don't know will be on the season. Keep your eyes peeled on this website, and I'm going to try and update you throughout the season. We're not going to give any elimination spoilers because we don't do that on this channel, but God, it's a good time to be a challenge fan. Season 38 actually is looking a bit good. Have a great day. Drop a like on the channel. Drop a comment on who you're most excited to see. Drop a comment on who you're disappointed isn't on here. Do whatever you want, honestly. Have a great day.